Olá pessoal, estamos aqui no estúdio hoje para conversar com o Min Lin, o novo diretor de negócios da BitGet para a América Latina. Ele acabou de começar no quadro e topou vir conversar com o InfoMoney para falar um pouquinho sobre os novos desafios e também sobre o mercado de criptomoedas. Thank you very much, Min, for accepting talking with InfoMoney.
Of course, thank you so much for having me.
Nice. And the price of Bitcoin is the all high of the time. So it's a very good moment for BitGet. And how do you see this price and how do you see the market for Bitcoin in 2025?
Well, it is very hard to do a price prediction, but we have obviously seen quite a bit of analysts, investment funds, research firms that has given their predictions and their views. It ranges anything from 100 to 200,000 by this year to 1.5 million and so forth in the years to follow, right? So for us as a platform, we don't really put out a price prediction. Yeah. However, we do see the momentum continuously growing. Bitcoin as a tool, it is one of the single most utilized assets within the crypto industry. And we see that as being a good reserve, units of reserve in terms of reserve of value. So that will continue to sort of like impulsate the adoption. You have continuously look at where there's some institutional adoption, right? On the recent days after the election finish, we have seen tremendous amounts of inflows into the ETFs. They have recorded over $1 billion in a single day that has transacted deposited inflows into the ETFs. So that signifies a huge amount of adoption. And the Bitcoin, it is no longer just a fad, something that only Bitcoiners or crypto enthusiasts are investing in. In fact, a lot more institutions are investing in it, and that gives a lot of more confidence within the marketplace. It gives a lot of more confidence within the industry itself. And here in Brazil, we continue to see this as being very important. Brazil is one of the highest countries in terms of adoption on crypto assets. And we can see that Bitcoin, as well as other crypto assets in Brazil, plays a very important role in how Brazilians look at investments in general.
And a Trump administration can be really better for crypto market. It's a real thing. He can do something about the regulation.
So you have to look at the environment in terms of the regulations within the United States over the last several years, right? A lot of it, what we have seen within our industry has been enforcement actions, right? That has been taken by the regulators. And essentially that is bad for the industry in the sense that crypto players and industries within the United States are looking for regulatory clarity, which has not been given to them. And they have been looking for a safe place for them to be able to do business. And we are hoping that this would change because Trump essentially has placed himself as being very pro-Bitcoin and pro-crypto in general. So we're hoping that this view will continue to maintain as he takes office next year. And definitely, we do see this being positive for the industry, for sort of like the industry to flourish within the United States and more widely globally, right? Because the U.S. policies has the opportunity to impact quite a bit in terms of global regulations as well. And we see that many countries do look up to the United States in terms of what they do from a regulatory standpoint and how they adopt within their own local markets. So definitely there is going to be a knock-on effect that we can see out of the Trump elections.
What can you expect for other cryptos? Only Bitcoin gets this all-time price. So what can you thinking about Ethereum and other altcoins?
Yeah, so usually when you look at, and this is no investment advice, but when you look at the price actions and sort of like the bull runs, we usually see a sort of like shift from money going into Bitcoin, then going into altcoins, right? So essentially there are cycles, and this is very cyclical. We don't guarantee that this is going to repeat itself every single cycle itself, but you do see professional traders understand the market movements, right? When Bitcoin prices goes up, then there is a lot of investments, a lot of actions in there. People take profits and then they go into the altcoins. So we do see this over and over, and we have seen several cycles of Bitcoin bull runs going up and down. So we do see that this could be something that traders that are looking at the charts every single day, they will understand much better on when to look at these price predictions on other altcoins. But we do believe that with the industry continues to evolve, there has been a lot of coins that has been released into markets, right? There's a meme coin mania just several months ago, right? People investing a lot in memes. We do see coins that are actually contributing to an ecosystem like Solana's, Ethereum's, and so forth, really pumping as well recently because they have real use cases. And I do think that that is something that the markets eventually will look into and find ways that we're able to look at tokens that actually has real world utility as well.
Well, you talk a little about the ETFs. ETFs are attracting a lot of investors, but we see a lot of these in ETF of Bitcoins. But what about the ETFs of Ethereum? They don't have so much attention. So what can we expect it for the next year or this year? I don't know.
Yes, you're right. Ethereum has not garnered as much attention. A lot of that was being driven by the existing US regulatory sort of like conditions. It is very hard for us to predict and foresee, but we do see the elections and the impact that it will have being a positive sign for Ethereum ETFs. Ethereum has been one of the longest standing crypto assets. It has built itself in terms of the amounts of use cases and the layer 2s that has been built on top of it. So definitely we do see that this will continue to evolve. And the ETF investments within Ethereum hopefully will garner as much institutional adoption because that's where most of the Bitcoin ETFs has been driven from, as the Bitcoin ETFs.
You see some chains, then we can see ETFs about other altcoins besides Bitcoin and the Ethereum in US?
Yes, I mean, there has been talks about Solana ETFs, for example, right, and other ETFs that they are looking to release within the market. So essentially, as we see the regulatory environments loosening up, we do see that there might be more ETFs that gets released. But obviously, whenever we talk about ETFs and adoption, we look at the major crypto assets in general, right? And that's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so forth.
Well, thank you so much, Minglin, for our conversation. I hope we can get conversation more in InfoMoney in other times.
Of course not. Thank you so much for having me again.
Muito obrigado para você que acompanhou o nosso vídeo até o final. Não se esqueça de se inscrever no canal do InfoMoney para ver mais conteúdos como este. Até a próxima!